Hello everyone, my name is Mitchell Ryan Darcy, and today I've decided I'm going to watch Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, it should be a very interesting movie, because even though it is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Sony is the main people in control here. Remember, Sony is responsible for the Amazing Spider-Man mishaps 1 and 2. Although I kind of liked the direction they were going with that, it's just they axed it just so they can bring in Spider-Man as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they were like, okay, well, if Marvel Cinematic, or the main Marvel, can guide us in making a good Spider-Man movie and help launch the franchise. But the thing is, you can kind of tell just from a point of advertising is Sony probably paid a lot of money just so they can have Robert Downey Jr. be an important part of this movie and Iron Man in Spider-Man Homecoming. My uncle has already seen the movie. He didn't spoil anything for me, but he did say especially wait until the end credits. And it's just funny because as of now, because of the Marvel Universe, I've always stayed to the end of credits for every movie now. I'm definitely going to be staying for the credits now, even though I was planning on doing it before. And that's another thing, is Sony probably paid a lot of money, because if this end credit scene is very important to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Sony probably paid a lot of money to have it on that instead of, say, Guardians of the Galaxy or even the next 4 movie. Actually, I'm pretty sure the next 4 movie will probably have a big thing. But I don't know, is it going to be an important end credit scene, or is it just going to help further the Spider-Man side of things? That's my question. Also, another thing I want to see is if this movie helps tie up some of the Iron Man things that were left in Iron Man 3 and all that, and what was talked about briefly in Civil War and all that. First of all, the relationship between Tony Stark and Pepper Potts, because last time I checked, they weren't really together anymore because they sort of grown further apart. But so I don't know, is that going to be mentioned in this movie or not? I don't know. Also, because I've seen Iron Man 3 where Tony Stark was working together with a kid, and it's like, I wonder if that dynamic is going to start happening with Tony Stark and Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Are they going to have that father-son type relationship, or is it just going to be like, or is the whole thing going to be like, oh, Peter Parker sees Tony Stark as a father figure, and Tony Stark's just like, I see him as a kid figure, but I don't want him to be a kid figure, and just kind of push him away in that, like I've seen in the trailers. It's like him going to hug, but it wasn't actually a hug, he was just opening the door for him. And that's another thing about the Spider-Man movie, which I'm not really excited for, is they did show a lot in the trailers. Which is kind of unfortunate, because it's like, it's most of this I wanted to see as a surprise when I went to see the movie. But hopefully there's still major parts of the movie that hasn't been spoiled, but I'm going to find out. Oh, that's another thing I'm really excited for. Michael Keaton. Seeing him returning to the superhero side, especially after such a long gap from playing Batman, and then doing the Birdman or the Unexpected Something of Ignorance. Oh, man, that's such a long title to remember. The Birdman movie that won Best Picture. Like, he was playing a superhero, like a fictional superhero actor who played a superhero and was famous because of the superhero, and then he was trying to get back into the limelight after quitting being that superhero. So it should be very interesting that he's playing like a vulture type bird villain. So I think that's going to be a little bit funny, but I'm totally confident that Michael Keaton will bring a new, like, not new approach, but like he's gonna be totally in character and having fun with his character. That I'm pretty sure of. So here I go, time to watch Spider-Man Homecoming! Okay, it is the day after I saw Spider-Man Homecoming because it was such a late showing that by the time I got back home, it was like 1:30, 2 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm really tired. I want to go to bed. I want to sleep. So anyway, I saw Spider-Man Homecoming. It was pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. It was really the thing I loved about Spider-Man Homecoming is that it didn't have to go big. It wasn't all about okay, well, the thing with the villain is like it didn't have to be he's the fate of the entire world is rested on the hero. The hero has to save the world or not. It's more smaller scale. Everything was more, even the major events. It was still a major event, but it wasn't like end of the world major or anything that high of stake. It was all very little. And I think this movie really benefited from it. Also structurally and all that, of how, I mean, when you compare it to the Amazing Spider-Man franchise before it, this one, Marvel and Sony working together, totally made Spider-Man. This is the way it should have went. And Marvel is and Marvel knew what to do with the property, and I think it really shows. Tom Holland, I think I'm saying his name right, perfect as Spider-Man. It's so weird because after seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, both who at the time of being Spider-Man was playing Spider-Man in high school, but both actors were older, that they wouldn't actually be in high school at that age unless they dropped out or stuff like that. So it's actually neat seeing someone who wouldn't be young enough to actually be in high school play Spider-Man in high school, or Peter Parker in high school. So it was definitely really good. And though you can kind of tell, because that's sort of the problem with, say, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that, is that they couldn't really incorporate the Avengers and stuff like that. And they did because the Avengers could have probably solved most of the problems that were happening. That they couldn't do it in the show and all that. So in this movie, having Tony Stark and a lot of references to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all that, they balanced it really well in the sense that it's still Spider-Man's movie, and he still is the one that needs to, learn and all that. Tony Stark, Iron Man, he's only there for guidance and all that. And I think they did a really good job with that. Once again, they did show too much in the trailers, but even though they showed too much in the trailers, there was still a lot of this movie that I didn't see in this trailers that was really good and really surprising. There was actually in any Marvel Cinematic Universe film that I've seen, this is the first Marvel Cinematic Universe since The Winter Soldier where I was shocked at some of the surprises that were in it and where it went. I'm not spoiling anything, but there is some stuff in this movie which I was like, wow, I can't believe they did that. Script-wise, structurally, I was like, wow, that's amazing. And even some dialogue and stuff like that, I was like, wow, they actually went there, and stuff like that. It was really good, and it was really fun. It was entertaining. Michael Keaton, oh my God, I knew he was gonna do a good job, but wow, they actually he played the most compelling villain since Loki in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, And it's so great to have a more human character, even though he does fly around in the suit with the vulture, where it's like it's CG. It's like, you know, Iron Man's suit, but you still have they really pulled off the human side of the villain, and it's really great change of villains since, you know, Ultron being like entirely CG and a whole bunch of robots, CGI robots that no one's attached to, like Iron Man 3 and all that. So yeah, really great villain. And I loved like the first 20 or 30 minutes of the movie, I forget, around there. They did a really good job of setting up the film. All the stuff that takes place throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe, from the Avengers to Captain America: Civil War, it made me want to rewatch those movies. That's how well integrated this movie is with the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which took me by surprise because Sony owns Spider-Man and Sony is kind of their own thing. This is all because Marvel intervened and they decided to work together to create this movie and start off the whole Spider-Man franchise. Hopefully they don't screw it up, because this is a really great start. Love to see where this goes. And also I loved what they did on Iron Man's side. It did wrap up some things that were left unquestioned by Iron Man 3 / Civil War. I just gotta say, I love the end title sequence. Really colorful, really creative. And I also want to say the end credit scenes, really good. I can see why my uncle told me to wait until the end credits for all the end credit scenes, because of that last one. That last one, oh man, it's so good. I can't say it, I can't spoil it, but I also love because the Marvels, they have that intro logo. I love the new, I liked the new design of it. I mean, it's a little bit long, but I think it really puts a stamp on how far they've come to now. But I really liked how they incorporated the old original Spider-Man theme in it. Like that was cool. I don't know any of the actors who played the high school students, but they all did a great job. And actually, high school wise, it's been the most, probably like just background and set wise, it's been the most realistic high school I've seen and portrayed on film in a long time. Even though that was school in U.S. and I went to high school in Canada, just the background extras and the stuff that, you know, there was a lot of details in the background. Like there were students carrying science projects and stuff like that, and the busyness of the hallway during school or class changes and all that. It just felt really realistic. And then there was parts where it's like during class where the hallways are almost like empty. It had a really realistic take on high school, I think. Especially for something that takes place in a superhero type movie. It just kind of took me by surprise. So I want to know what you thought of Spider-Man Homecoming. Let me know in the comments below. I thought it was great. The music choices were really great. The comedic moments, really well done. And also the serious moments. And just the whole story. There's so much that happens in it, it's great, but it wasn't too complex. It wasn't too crazy. Everything choice-wise made sense. I would definitely recommend, if you're watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, definitely check Spider-Man Homecoming. Thank you very much for watching. I want you to have a nice day or night or whatever time you watch this. Have a nice whatever. Thanks again for watching. Like this video if you want. Subscribe if you want. It's entirely up to you. Check out my other videos if you want. It's entirely up to you. Thanks again.